Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Rough Cut, a show where we talk about movies, movie news, TV shows, and really anything else movie related or that we want to talk about. I am your host, Odie Matthews. With me, almost as always, except for a couple times, is the co-host and my co-host, your co-host, this podcast co-host, co-host, Professor Pugsley.
Your friendly neighborhood Pugsley. Together again.
Friendly neighborhood co-host.
Yeah, whatever. Something like that.
So, obviously last week, I was on another business trip that got extended, which has happened once before. Hopefully will never happen again. So I went over a little bit of the Comic-Con trailers that were released, and then I went over some war movie stuff, Dunkirk and whatnot. So this week, we're going to go over all the major Comic-Con news, regular news, and then Comic-Con news. Talk about some Atomic Blonde that we saw. Maybe talk about the Emoji Movie that I saw. And then suggestions, and we're out of here. So
sounds good.
Sit back, relax.
And listen to the something tones of our
here we go.
Terrible voices.
All right. So Dark Movie Universe, The Mummy, and all of those movies.
That I'm not as enthusiastic as I was after seeing The Mummy.
Channing Tatum is eyed for the Dark Movie Universe Van Helsing.
I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, okay, when you said Channing Tatum, I'm like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Channing Tatum is Van Helsing. Though.
I don't know if that's a good fit.
Because we had talked a few weeks back about the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing, which I thought was
fantastic.
Awesome.
Tom Cruise was originally going to be Van Helsing until he took the Mummy role.
And I feel like that would have been an interesting cast as well. I think that would have been...
Yeah.
I mean, after the Mummy...
You know who I want to see as Van Helsing in this universe, if they actually keep going? I want to see, like, Armie Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Or Henry Cavill. So I feel like one of those two would be great.
They would fit well in this.
Oh, yeah. So we don't know the status of the Dark Movie Universe. We know it's in trouble because the Mummy completely flopped. The next movie, I think, I've already forgotten. It was like Bride of Frankenstein or something.
Oh yeah.
I think that was the next one they had slated with Angelina Jolie.
And then
because then The Rock was the Wolfman. But anyways, the whole point is,
okay.
I hope Channing Tatum says that the Gambit movie is still going to happen eventually. With the success of Deadpool, the success of Logan, and hopefully with the success of the next X-Men movie, they think that they can break away from the team-building X-Men movies and kind of do these solo ones like Deadpool and Logan was. And
so who's going to be Gambit?
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum will be Gambit.
Would be Gambit. It was announced maybe over 2 years ago that he was going to be Gambit, but then it got put on the back burner because of reasons and things and such. But now he's still attached. And they're thinking about maybe bringing it back.
See, that I think works.
Yes, definitely. On top of that, tell me if this works. Did we ever talk about the Barbie movie? How Amy Schumer was going to be in the Barbie movie?
We did talk about it. I don't know if we did on air.
Okay, well, she's not going to be in the Barbie movie. Now they're thinking Anne Hathaway for the Barbie movie.
I like that.
I do, but I don't. See, the thing with the Barbie movie was it was supposed to be where Amy Schumer played the misfit Barbie in a world of attractive Barbies.
that would have worked.
And that works because she's a misfit.
Yeah. So what is Anne Hathaway's tie-in?
I guess she's still going to be playing the same role because it's the same movie where she'd be a misfit.
That's possible.
But it's not as believable as someone like Amy Schumer.
Right.
And that's
Amy Schumer is the comedy element that makes that work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure how I feel about the Barbie movie in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as topic goes, but disregarding topic, just looking at it from a casting standpoint.
I like Anne Hathaway. But
I like Anne Hathaway, but I like her in a more serious role.
Exactly. Well, a lot of these, I have a lot of news here, so we're just going to kind of roll through them quickly. But this one's a cool. This is not news. Well, it is news because the Deadpool 2 director, who's one of the John Wick directors, because there's two. One of the John Wick directors did Atomic Blonde. The other one, I think, did Deadpool 2, or maybe it's the same director. I'm not sure. But anyways, do you remember when Logan came out, the opening scene was Deadpool, No Good Deed, where the guy gets shot and he transforms into his costume and he's too late?
Yes. The
Deadpool 2 director, and no one is dismissing this, It's a fan theory that guy is Uncle Ben.
No freaking way.
Now, whether or not that means it's the Uncle Ben from Tom Holland's or not.
Well, I would think it would have to be.
Well, the cool thing
this far current.
So in the comic books, Deadpool and Spider-Man are like best friends. And there's a petition going out to get Deadpool, Daredevil, and Spider-Man in a movie together or a TV show or something because those three are really close in the comic books, especially Deadpool and Spider-Man.
That'd be freaking cool.
Oh, maybe it's Deadpool and Daredevil are really close. But either way, I like the idea that is Uncle Ben. That's pretty cool.
I've seen more like comic book stuff about the Daredevil Spider-Man connection than anything else.
Yeah, and I
not
think,
so much Daredevil.
Well, now they're in the same universe because Daredevil and Spider-Man are obviously in the Marvel universe.
And so is Daredevil.
Yeah, no, Daredevil and Spider-Man are.
Deadpool. Or did you say Deadpool?
Deadpool is in the Fox or Sony universe, one of those. The X-Men universe that's separate from what we have in Marvel.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. I mean, if it is Uncle Ben, cool. If it's not, cool. I mean, it's fine.
I'll believe it until they tell me otherwise. So,
are you excited for James Bond 25, the 25th James Bond movie?
Is it going to be better than the other?
Well,
ones?
Daniel Craig is back.
Well, I know.
Well, no,
we have talked about that.
It's officially, unofficially confirmed that he is supposed to be back.
Officially, unofficially. How did they?
It's not been officially announced, but it's been. Someone already found out that he is supposed to be in it. It's just they haven't announced that he's going to be in it.
Oh, okay.
But
well, that's whatever.
I it's fine, cool, whatever.
But it's going to be the continuation of the convoluted plot that we've been.
Well, here's something about convoluted plot and continuation. I've got two pieces for that.
Okay.
James Cameron is developing and writing a new Terminator trilogy.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not possible.
Why? I mean, that franchise is so ruined and damaged, and name alone is just damaged. Why? He gets it back in 2018, but like, why would you want to make? It goes right into the next piece of news. Ridley Scott's Alien Covenant sequels are now put on the back burner because of the terrible reviews and box office that Alien Covenant
had. Yeah.
And he's down and determined to make more Alien Covenant movies. Now James Cameron's determined to make more Terminator movies. It's just like why though? Like,
come up with a novel concept. Make something new.
Go back to Avatar, James Cameron, and Ridley Scott.
I don't want him to go back to Avatar either. I just want to lock him in a box and drop him in the ocean.
Like, golly, it's just terrible. Well, speaking of terrible, this is the last bit. 2 Ghostbusters movies are in the works, a live action and an animated, and the live action one will combine the new universe with the old universe. It could come out as early as 2019.
You said Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Right? Who are you going to call?
Reboot. Not Ghostbusters.
Reboots.
I'm not going to call Ghostbusters. I'm going to stay home.
The guy that's in charge of it or whatever said that he understood that the reason why the new one did so poorly is because it basically erased the original Ghostbusters from like the franchise.
Well, and made stupid cameos that they're not going to be able to use.
Well, here's the thing. That's not why the Ghostbusters movies was bad. It wasn't bad. People didn't like it because it erased the original Ghostbusters. People didn't like it because it was just a bad film.
Yeah, it was.
It had a bad plot,
like
and a weak third act,
and had a decent casting that I thought could have been a lot better.
Definitely. So, yeah, Ghostbusters. Cool, I guess. Fine, whatever. We won't see it. Maybe we will. Anyways.
Well, you've seen a lot dumber movies.
Oh, yeah.
Over this year. So
yeah.
It's entirely possible that you will go see it. I don't know how much you can drag me.
I did go see the Emoji Movie, which...
We'll talk about it. Like a little bit. We'll give you like...
Barely.
30 seconds.
All right. So that's all the regular news that I have this week. But there's a lot of Comic-Con stuff, so let's jump into it. Some of this we'll talk in depth. Some of it we'll breeze over. Mm-hmm. However we're feeling.
A lot of trailers, a lot of
definitely some trailer stuff.
Good stuff.
So the first thing I'm going to start off with, I'm going to try to save the big stuff for towards the end.
Gotcha.
So Captain Marvel, the Brie Larson.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so apparently she's not going to be in Avengers 3, but she'll probably show up in Avengers 4. Now, that's not confirmed or anything. Like, people are saying that she's in it. People are saying she's not.
When is Captain Marvel set to come out?
I believe it's before Avengers 4.
Okay.
So, here's the thing. We have some information.
So she's not going to be introduced and then put on the burner.
See, because here's why. This is why they're probably not going to have her in Avengers Infinity War, because the Captain Marvel solo film is going to take place in the 1990s, with a de-aged Nick Fury. He'll have 2 eyes, and the villain, this is pretty cool because I did some research on it.
So he won't be able to say, I've got my eye on you.
Eyes. The villain is supposed to be, it's either the Kree or the Skrulls.
Huh.
Now, here's the interesting part about this. This is why I bring this up. Whichever villain it is, I can't remember. I wrote down Kree, but part of me thinks it's the Skrulls. So whichever the villain is, these people have the ability to look like human beings, which means potentially, if these guys are still around, there is speculation any one of the Marvel heroes we know could at any one point be one of these people.
Oh.
Which means Avengers Infinity War will introduce that, could potentially introduce that.
So we've got a double agent somewhere.
A double agent.
Ooh.
Now, it would have to be a minor character, because obviously, like, it won't be...
it would have to be somebody who hasn't been in the first 2 Avengers as a main character.
Exactly. Or if they have, they haven't really done a lot. There's speculation
Right.
that it could be, like, a supporting character, like maybe Agent 13.
Yeah, it could be.
Or Hank Pym. There was speculation about him. There's a couple other speculations too. But the cool thing about that is that means that if these people are still in this universe, that maybe they just replaced somebody for the Infinity War movie. They weren't replaced for all the other ones.
Yeah.
So,
Because that's really the only
Yeah.
place they could make it work.
It's interesting. I like the idea. You know, we said that we were kind of worried, or I said I was kind of worried about Captain Marvel being a typical origin film of a Marvel hero. But it sounds like the way they're setting this up, it's gonna be something big, because obviously she hasn't been around for Avengers 2, Civil War, which means she's probably been off planet for a while.
Right. And she not even hinted at, so yeah.
Exactly. So the fact that she's coming back, probably for Avengers 4, hopefully we'll see her in Infinity War, show up at the end or something, maybe post credits. I like that. That's a cool.
I think it's the best way they could bring her in.
Yeah,
so.
I don't think she needs to be in the whole film. I mean, it's already a huge cast. And, we'll get into Infinity War in a little bit, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. D.H. Nick Fury, which the cool thing about Sam Jackson is he already looks kind of young. He's looked the same through all the films.
It's not hard to de-age him.
You'll probably just have to CGI another eye, and maybe.
Well, the scars and stuff.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
get rid of those.
I mean, because if he shaves, he looks. That dude hasn't aged since the 90s, anyways. So yeah. Next bit of news, we're gonna jump around from. So there's 3 or 4 major players at Comic-Con. You had Marvel, which is the cinematic universe, DC, Fox, which is X-Men, and Sony was not there. So it was just 3. Fox, DC, and Marvel. So Fox has the X-Men properties. DC has DC properties. And Marvel has everything else. Okay, so Fox said they are developing a Doctor Doom solo film about the origin of Doctor Doom.
Why do we care?
Exactly. I think what they're doing here, and I think this is really funny, I heard this on another podcast, they are scraping the bottom of the bucket of what they potentially have to release in order to keep the rights for Fantastic Four. We make a movie about the kids of the Fantastic Four. We make a movie about Doctor Doom. There's a robot that replaces the Human Torch. And they're talking about making a movie about the robot that replaces the Human
origin story about the robot.
Like, they're like, oh, so if we just have the robot, like, we can keep the rights?
You know, there was this tick that was on The Thing.
If we make a movie about that tick,
we can make a movie about that
animated about for kids.
Yeah.
But that's just a Doctor Doom solo film.
Well, I'm not saying they couldn't make something good out of it. It's just with their track record, I'm not
confident.
I'm not sure they're gonna win with it.
No. Yeah. So here we go. Kingsman 2: The Golden Circle.
Saw the new trailer for it.
Yeah.
Which we needed like a while ago. Like that was one of the films that I really wanted to see a new trailer for.
I only have one issue with this.
Okay.
The first trailer kind of shows you at the end that Harry's still alive. In this one,
it looks like he's in it a lot more.
It looks like he's in it a lot more, but it's kind of still not really explained.
Right, and I think the timeline is the biggest thing. You know, we're introduced to a sort of villain lady,
Which
I'm
is
assuming.
Juliana Moore, I'm imagining. And
she, you know, kind of hints that she's behind some of what's going on here.
Wipes out the Kingsmen, so they have to go to the American cousins, the Statesmen, which is Channing Tatum, Jeff Bridges, and the guy with the lasso he plays Pablo Escobar on Narcos on Netflix.
Oh.
I don't know his name. It's like Pedro something, or maybe it's Diego. I don't know. Anyways, I like that Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, and the other guy trio meeting up with, because because like Halle Berry's kind of like their Mark Strong character, their Merlin, their smart person,
Mm-hmm.
and then But the other thing about this, the blonde chick from the first one probably is gonna die because she's not in this trailer at all. She's in the first trailer briefly,
very briefly,
but that means she's probably
going to be in the first 5 minutes and
then
she's
blows
going
up.
to die. Yep.
Yeah, so that kind of sucks.
Well, I mean, she wasn't a very important character in the last one.
But she could have been a potential love interest.
I don't care about love
either.
interests.
Yeah, no.
I mean, if we're going off of the Bond formula, the love interests
Changes.
are either bad girls that end up dying, or
Oh, wait. In the first Kingsman, he has sex with that princess girl at the end.
that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, never mind. All right.
Or they're just, completely meaningless. Yeah. Anyway, so again, I think it looks really good. I agree with you there that it looks like they're going to probably introduce him maybe towards the end of the first act.
Yeah, that's
the
what I would
second
say.
act.
I would say after everything gets blown up and they go to the Statesman and he's over
yeah,
there.
if you watch the trailer, you'll see Colin Firth. I can't think of his name. Harry.
Yeah, Harry.
You see Harry at the table with the Kingsman guys and the Statesman guys.
I like he was using the umbrella, and then Taron Egerton's Eggsy was using like a briefcase that has a machine gun in it. That's pretty cool.
Man, it looks so
American flag parachutes. It looks like a whiskey flask that's a bomb was thrown. A laser whip lasso.
Like electrocution or something.
That arm thing.
Yeah,
that detaches. It looks good. It looks really. It looks like the kind of comic book over the top James Bond meets the comic book universe movie that we definitely want and need this year.
Yeah,
because it seems like a lot of the Marvel films are going for a more serious tone this year. Now they're funny too, but like Guardians 2 addresses some serious issues. Spider-Man addresses like some serious issues. It looks like Thor is going to get kind of serious at some point. But
although I really hope it does. Like, it looks so fun right now.
Yeah, but it looks like this one's going to be probably, I think,
the least serious,
the most fun.
Yeah,
I mean that's just me. I mean I'm excited for all the Marvel films, but it's nice to break away from Marvel and DC and get a film.
Yeah,
like
well, I mean, part of what we go to see in these movies, we want escapism. We want a non-serious movie to get away from our serious lives.
Well, let's talk about Thor Ragnarok then.
Okay.
Talk about that one next.
Since we talked about just now.
Looks good.
Again, I love the vibe that I'm getting off of it, which is it again, I think they're trying to use some of the kind of vintagey. Yeah. I mean, you get kind of a cross between the Guardians feel and like Fifth Element kind of thing.
A little bit.
On.
Now,
I mean, there's some wackiness going on there that I love. I can't put my finger on.
There is one thing about this film that's pretty cool. Bruce Banner has been the Hulk, and I mentioned this last episode, for 2 years. He has not been Bruce Banner. Now, it looks like in the trailer that he doesn't remember anything, and the Hulk's developed some kind of speech, like of a 2-year-old, basically. And it looks like when he turns back to Bruce Banner, he doesn't really remember anything, which begs the question, will he remember anything when he turns back into the Hulk? Will we still get that speech from the Hulk and Thor in other movies?
Yeah. I don't know. Well, and how much of that is the original character of the Hulk that he has amnesia basically from his changing events?
I don't think he really has that if he changes over quickly. Like if it's not very long, but 2 years, I think the Hulk just took over.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, you see that in Avengers 1, where he's not able to remember, did I kill anybody?
When he falls out of the sky.
That kind of thing. So I that has always been kind of a gray area that I've never really understood with him.
I think speculation says from the comics that I know nothing about, that the Hulk will still retain his memory.
Okay. Because
the thing is, the Hulk hasn't been the Hulk long enough at some point in time to really develop any kind of skills or intelligence level, but I think he retains it.
Right.
But the rest of the trailer, you get a lot of just incredible elements that look...
Right. They're putting together a team. So you've got introduction of new characters.
Now you got Team Iron Man, Team Cap, and Team Thor.
Yeah, well, and all of those teams are eventually going to have to fight Thanos in some way.
Yeah, I like that.
And they're probably going to have to compete, and they're probably going to, butt heads a lot.
I like that the new. It looks like Loki's finally going to hopefully be a good guy from here on out, because he is in Infinity War 2 as well.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that. I mean, it was cool having him as like a villain, and then he was kind of like a villain, but not a villain in the second Thor. And now he's like hopefully a good guy, because I love the dynamic between Tom Hiddleston and Chris Hemsworth.
Oh, I love it.
It looks really good. Hammer's still gone. You get a better look at Carl Urban's Volstagg, who uses M16s. He's on Hela's side. Valkyrie, which is the chick on his team, which I guess what I've read is she's the one that put Hela away, and that's why she's hiding out on the planet that they're on.
Gotcha.
So she's afraid or scared or something. But it looks really good. It looks like it's going to be exactly what they described it as, which is a buddy cop movie across space, which is what it looks like.
Yep.
So
looks good. Now I will say this. I'm just going to throw this in here just while we're talking about it. I didn't get to see all the leaked footage because a lot of it that was no longer on YouTube, but we saw, at least the part that I saw, Thor gets run over by the Guardians.
Yeah. So there's a whole breakdown. I would suggest not looking at the footage because it's pretty terrible, but you can read like a breakdown of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So Thor runs into the Guardians, but they've already said that that's not going to ruin the end of Thor Ragnarok.
Okay.
Because everyone was
like... But
it
is after Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, because everyone was like, well, that means that at the end of Thor Ragnarok he gets blasted into space. Well, apparently that's not the case. I think they're doing a double ploy, and that is the case. And they're just like, oh, man.
They're trying to cover it up.
Yeah, they're trying to cover it up because they realize they shouldn't have released that.
Oops.
Kind of gives away a lot.
Okay.
I mean, he still looks like he's still in the same armor.
Yeah, no, he hasn't changed.
Yeah. But, again, if you want to really read what happens in it, I mean, it's pretty... The Infinity War leak footage, it's just Thor runs into the Guardians and then Thanos bashing about, basically.
Yeah.
It's not anything worth watching. Let's go Justice...
Yeah, Justice League.
Yeah, there's two big things when it comes to Justice League.
Holy crap.
This new trailer is long, but man, does it look good.
Oh, man.
My only issue, and this isn't really that big, my only issue with Justice League, and it's more of a DC thing, is they keep using big gray monsters as their final fight. Man of Steel, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, and now this. I mean, you even asked, is that Ares from Wonder Woman?
Yeah, it looked a lot like... It's basically the same armor as Ares had at the end of Wonder Woman.
Which might be because they're both from the same... Maybe from the same mythological
Well,
background.
they have to be. I mean, if well, I guess they don't have to be.
But they could be.
They look like they are.
Yeah, so you get... it looks like he comes down to Themyscira, which means that could be the end of Themyscira. We know that
and I think that's what we're led to believe. Probably because you see Diana's mom, sort of. Well, I guess she is his mom.
Yeah,
she is her mom. So you see Diana's mom again. You see the Amazons, and
he comes down.
You see some bad stuff happening there.
So apparently there's a mother box on Themyscira, mother box in Atlantis, and those are the things that he needs to bring the big bad Darkseid, who's basically like Thanos, down to Earth.
Oh, okay. So it's like
that's
Transformers.
That's why he's in Atlantis too, fighting Aquaman. You see him throw the axe at him underwater.
Okay.
I love that we get a better look at Ezra Miller's Flash.
Yes, and I'm really interested because it seems like at least they've taken some of the characteristics of the
TV
CW
show.
Flash.
Yep, I think that's what they did.
It's very good. I'm very. It looks promising.
Yeah,
because the comic elements. He seems like
the comedic relief,
and certainly I think with regard to the CW series, Flash is the most lighthearted of all of the,
without a doubt,
of all of the CW heroes, sort of.
I think Supergirl, now that she's a part of that universe, I watched the big crossover.
And I haven't seen that much of Supergirl, so
I haven't seen either, but I watched the big crossover where it was like Supergirl, Flash, the time-traveling people, and Arrow, and Supergirl was kind of like really lighthearted. But I think they finally realized that people like the CW Flash, so they kind of gave him some of those elements.
Yeah.
Um,
Which I think is a winning strategy.
yeah, I like the views that we got of J.K. Simmons, Commissioner Gordon. Yeah. Gordon.
Yes, and I'm absolutely on board with that
Yes.
casting as well.
And I like that we got some more Alfred. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons. I love him.
Yeah, he looks fantastic in this. I love the line. And there's okay, so before I describe this, for those of you that don't know, there's a huge theory that this universe is the Tim Burton Batman universe years later.
Huh.
And what it is basically, and then now we know, the big hole in this is, well, Alfred's really, really old and dies in the Batman universe, Tim Burton.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just Batman 89 and the second Batman, not the Joel Schumacher crap. So you take those two movies out. Now, what it is basically, like, it's that universe, Tim Burton's universe now, and the line that everyone's like, oh, it solidifies it, is he's like, the biggest issue was wind up exploding penguins, which are used in Batman Returns. So people are thinking, oh my gosh, this is the universe, which, I mean, the Batman thing lines up because he's a young Batman in the Tim Burton universe, now he's an older one. Alfred, you're younger, so probably not, but it's a cool theory.
Yeah. No, and so we've got Cyborg, we've got Aquaman, and you really start to get a feel for their characters a little better. Oh man, Aquaman's fantastic.
I cannot wait for that movie to come out.
Like he and I was worried that they would make him almost like a Thor character where he's kind of otherworldly.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's very familiar with
I
the
feel
world.
like that's going to be Cyborg. It's kind of that otherworldly guy.
Yeah,
He's very stoic.
robotic.
I mean, when he's talking to Alfred, he's like, "I've got it from here." Like he sounds robotic.
Which you kind of understand with that
I mean,
regard. But
he's majority robot. But yeah, no, Justice League. There's a lot of news around DC, so we'll just go ahead and dive into it. The first big thing is they're saying that Ben Affleck's Batman's out. He's not going to be Batman anymore. He's not going to be Batman for the solo Batman film. That the Justice League will be his last time being Batman. Now, Ben Affleck...
I hope not.
Ben Affleck stood up at San Diego Comic-Con and was like, I effing love this character. I'll play it as long as I can. Then now DC's come out and said, Ben Affleck is going to play Batman as long as we want him to. Which doesn't really say that... That doesn't mean anything. Because, I mean, they might not want him to play it anymore. But... here's the interesting part. The Flash movie. The movie that's gone through a lot of changes. You can hear the rain.
Is it raining that hard?
Yes.
Wow.
So...
very rainy today in
Yep. So
Rough Cut World.
The Flash movie has lost directors and everything. It was on the back burner, blah, 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 blah. They've released what they're going to do with the Flash movie. And this is huge. And this confirms everything I've been saying about this universe. And a lot of people have been saying. It's going to be Flashpoint. Now... what that means is Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Batman's dad in Batman v Superman, in the Flashpoint universe, he's Batman, and Bruce Wayne got shot in the alley. And his mom, who's played by Maggie Cohen, who's from The Walking Dead, becomes the Joker. Which means that
what the hell?
So the Flashpoint universe, what it is basically the Flash goes back in time to save his mom, and it rewrites everything. And the Reverse Flash is the main villain. But the cool thing about the Flashpoint movie, the biggest element of it is the Atlanteans and the Wonder Woman people, the Mascarans, Amazonians, are at war. And if you watch the animated film on Netflix, which I did because I was like, oh, what is this? The war is brutal. I mean, like, Wonder Woman cuts off Aquaman's wife's head, who's played by Amber Heard in Aquaman. Like, I mean, it's brutal.
So we're expecting to see some harbored animosity between...
well, there's more for Flashpoint.
Okay, keep going.
Superman is captured by the government when he lands. He doesn't land in Kansas, and he's kept under red sunlight his entire life in a bunker. So he's not even like a major player. He's like super skinny and doesn't even... like, he's never been outside before since he's been on Earth. So what this means is that if they wanted to get rid of Ben Affleck's Batman... if they reset the timeline with Flashpoint, and they, like... because at the end of Flashpoint, minor spoilers, obviously everything gets reset back to normal. Oh, another cool thing about Flashpoint is Hal Jordan, Green Lantern. He's not Green Lantern. He's a pilot for the Air Force. He's still a pilot. He never got the ring. But anyways, so... if they reset the timeline with Flashpoint, you know... but it'd be cool. It's going to be really, really cool to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the red-eyed Batman. Because in in that universe he uses guns, which I mean this Batman does too. But like he'll kill anybody. Like he doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have a huge rogues gallery because he kills them all.
He's a Punisher basically.
He's Punisher Batman. I mean, essentially, yeah, exactly. So it's really cool because if they reset the timeline, they can do one of two things. They can keep Ben Affleck as Batman, or they could replace him and be like, and then Barry Allen gets back and be like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm Bruce Wayne." And he'd be like, "Oh man, I changed everything." So, but the other way they can do it, if they want to get Batman out, is like we've been saying, put in, introduce us to Nightwing, Dick Grayson, have him take over as Batman. But you can also do it this way, and this is the best way I've heard it. If they really want to get rid of Ben Affleck, don't kill him off. Don't rewrite history with Flashpoint. Have him step down and have Dick Grayson come in as Nightwing after the Batman movie. And then keep Ben Affleck's Batman alive in the universe so he can come back at a later point in time if he wants to or needs to.
Put him away and just keep him there for a little bit.
The whole Flashpoint thing is just incredibly interesting to me that they're actually, for one, it's the first Flash solo movie. It's a huge step to do such a thing like that. But I mean, the elements of that movie, the Atlanteans and the Amazonian War.
That's awesome.
The fact that like all the heroes are completely different. The Reverse Flash being the main antagonist. I mean, it is like the world's in ruins because of this war between the Atlanteans and the Amazonians. It's nuts. So that's a cool element. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan teased that he would be the Batman in it, which is I think why they cast him in the first place. Is if they ever wanted to do this, he could be Batman. He's a perfect choice. I mean,
oh yeah,
for that kind of Batman.
That's crazy.
Awesome. It's
crazy awesome.
So yeah, there's a lot. Like I said, DC. I mean, they hit some stuff, and they officially announced some titles. So while we're talking about DC, here's the titles that are officially announced, and then we'll the ones that have been mentioned but aren't officially announced to start filming or anything. So Suicide Squad 2 officially is going to be in the lineup within the next couple of years.
Which we knew was coming. I mean, that's not a surprise.
I mean, would you rather see Suicide Squad 2 or Man of Steel 2?
Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's not the issue. We just knew that they were going to make a second Suicide Squad. There was no way they weren't.
Justice League Dark, which I've mentioned before, is like all the dark
which
elements.
Which sounds awesome.
That's officially going to happen, even though it lost its director. They're going to find a new one, start doing that. Green Lantern Corps. I thought this movie was already officially announced. Apparently, it's never been officially announced. It's going to happen.
So now we're
it's announced officially.
Now it's announced,
and it's official. It's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, along with other Green Lanterns. Batgirl, Joss Whedon's Batgirl, is officially announced. Wonder Woman 2 script is in the works. It's going to have a 2019 release date. So very excited for that. Which we're going to do a side note. Flashpoint, right? We talked about spoilers for Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor dies at the end, but what you see is him in the plane, and then it cuts back, and you see the plane explode.
Yes.
Now,
and I actually watched it Thursday night. I went back and saw it again.
Yeah.
Friday night, actually. And there is so much potential there because you see him point the gun towards the explosives, but you never see him shoot.
Now, what I said...
And there was a parachute in that plane. I watched it.
Well, what I said is, if you wanted to keep him alive, which I think it's a great idea to bring him back in the 90s.
Yeah.
If that's when the Cold War, whenever the Wonder Woman 2 is going to be set, whatever they decide upon. The Flash, after Justice League, Wonder Woman could be like, I need a favor. Because if the world thinks he's dead, you're not going to screw up any timelines. Flash zips back in time, grabs him, zips back to the present day. Even if he's not in Wonder Woman 2, he brings him back to the present day, and then that sets him up for future films.
Or maybe even Flash knows about this guy from some other and works it out without Wonder Woman knowing about it, and so this comes as a complete surprise. I like that side more.
I think either way they can bring him back, and I hope they do.
Yeah.
Flashpoint obviously wouldn't affect him because it's way before he goes
well, and
back
it gets
in time.
reset, so there's no way you can pull him out.
Well, it doesn't matter because Flashpoint takes place like he goes back to the 80s to save his mom, so it's only from the 80s to the present day that's affected.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I think it leaves a lot of potential to bring him back for Wonder Woman 2. There's a lot of ways they could pull him out of time. There's time traveling people in this universe that could do it. Flash could do it. There's all different ways that could happen. So, there was one more speculation that he's going to become, that Steve Trevor is Green Lantern. that he gets pulled out of that plane by a Green Lantern, and then becomes
part of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen because they've already announced that Hal Jordan and John Stewart are the Green Lantern, so it'd make no sense to have
Steve Trevor.
Yeah,
Green
just
Lantern.
bring him back for one of them too.
Yeah,
that's the whole point of this rant. The Batman has been officially announced that's going to happen. Matt Reeves is working on a new script. Bad news about that. If you're really looking forward to Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke, there's a high possibility he will no longer be in it.
Darn.
Yeah. So those are the ones that are officially confirmed for the lineup. Here are the ones that are missing, that we've heard about that are missing. There's 4. Gotham City Sirens, which is David Ayer.
Which I'm kind of glad that they haven't announced that, because again, that works, but I'd rather have Batman first.
There's a lot of other films I want to see first. Well, then you're really happy this one hasn't been announced yet. Harley Quinn versus the Joker. So
I don't see how that could happen without Suicide Squad 2.
This is what's going to happen. This is what they've got. They've got Suicide Squad 2, which would have Harley Quinn in it, and possibly the Joker. Gotham City Sirens, which has Harley Quinn and the Joker in it. And then they're going to do a whole movie about Harley Quinn versus the Joker. Wow. That's some balls, DC, to try to
shoving it down our throats.
That's 4 films with Harley Quinn and the Joker, which, I mean, you guys...
that's redundant.
Justice League 2 was surprisingly absent from the lineup.
But we know that's going to happen.
Maybe. Yeah, probably. But still, absent.
Come on.
And Man of Steel 2.
If Justice League 1 looks this good, there's no way they don't do a Justice League 2. Or something with that. I mean, Justice League Dark, obviously.
That looks cool.
It looks really good, and maybe that takes the place of Justice League 2.
Now, there's some animated DC movies coming out. I didn't write them down. So look them up.
Yeah. Because reasons. You can look those up yourself.
The last little bit. Now, there was some Netflix stuff. I mentioned in the trailers that I mentioned last week, like Stranger Things 2. There's the Pacific Rim thing. Yeah. Anyway, so the last thing I'm going to mention is a Netflix property, Bright, which I mentioned last week, and now you've seen. Yeah,
well, I feel like I had seen a little bit of it before this trailer.
There was
this trailer is huge.
There was a huge teaser on Netflix that you could click on before.
And that's probably what I saw a little bit of that.
It was like a little, like it showed you like clips.
But this is just the extended. Now we get to see what's really going on.
And it's exactly what would you say is exactly how I described it? It's
exactly.
Fairy tale elements in a gritty real world, but it works. It looks so interesting because it's dumb. It's a magic wand, but it's so interesting that I want to see it.
Well, I mean, think of all the other stuff that they've done. They've done Stranger Things, which is a similar kind of idea that a lot of people went for.
Did you see that movie Okja?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same
keep
thing.
Flipping past it.
It's kind of dumb, but it kind of works.
Yeah, just the face of the thing.
Yeah,
I didn't want to click on it.
But I mean, David Ayer, who did, Suicide Squad, I don't think was completely his fault. He only had 4 weeks to write it, and there was a lot of interference. But he did Fury and End of Watch, which are 2 phenomenal films.
Yes, absolutely.
And that End of Watch is a cop-based drama, and this you can see those elements. If you've seen End of Watch, you can see those elements in this trailer. Will Smith, what more could you want?
Yeah, no, and I think it's kind of a return to almost like Bad Boys kind of thing.
Only he's with an orc.
I think this could work.
I'm really excited. That trailer is up on Netflix and up on YouTube. Definitely give that one. I'm really excited for. And then Pacific Rim 2. Awesome. Can't wait for a trailer. I guess.
I'm not buying that from you.
Do you want to discuss some Infinity War stuff before we move on to...
Sure, why not? Just throw it out there.
Okay, Thanos doesn't have his armor. Apparently it's because he is so badass he doesn't need it or something. So that's cool. So here's here's what we know about Infinity War. We know that it's going to have a massive amount of characters, including most of the side characters you've seen. But it's going to mainly be centered around this one. Now, Avengers 4 will be a different story. This one's going to mainly center around the original Avengers team. Now, people thought that meant the Hulk, Scarlet Witch, or Black Widow, Hawkeye, and then Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor. It's mainly going to be around Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man. Now, cool thing about Infinity War, Captain America's on the run, obviously, with his team. In the comics, he gives up the mantle of Captain America at the end of Civil War, I believe. I think. I might be making that up. But he becomes a new character called Nomad, which is a bearded Captain America that's not called Captain America. It's been confirmed that that's what he's going by.
That sounds pretty cool, actually.
And then on the poster, Scarlett Johansson's character has blonde hair, so they're obviously in hiding,
Right.
which is cool. But yeah, I mean, there's not much about it. I mean, you can talk about the leaked footage, but I stand by. I'm waiting for the real trailer because I mean, they mentioned they want to release something that's worth seeing the public seeing. That's why they didn't release Black Panther's footage or Ant-Man's footage because they're waiting until it's done. I mean, why not? That makes sense because now Infinity War. I mean, the second or Avengers 4 gets so confusing. Starts filming in like a week or two. So I mean, they're already starting that off.
Wow, I didn't think they'd be working on that already.
Yeah, already. Well, it was gonna film back to back, but they gave like a month in between for the actors to take a break.
For real.
Spider-Man has spider senses in this because there's a scene in the test footage where his hairs stand up and he looks up at the sky. So it's assuming that he has his spider senses, which were not mentioned in Homecoming or in this.
Right.
You get the Spider-Man suit at the end of Spider-Man Homecoming is in this film.
Is that the Iron Spider?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I put that together after I thought about it. That sure looked like Iron Man colors.
It is. It's an Iron Spider, which basically it's just a Spider-Man suit that has more stuff and is metal. Now, there's a really interesting scene in the test footage that I saw that I'm gonna share. There's a scene where Spider-Man is laying on the ground and Iron Man's over him, and he keeps saying, "I'm sorry." Which, I mean, obviously they're not going to kill Spider-Man, but maybe. They could kill... Because here's the thing. It's going to confirm that someone in this movie... There's going to be an Avenger that dies. Maybe more than one. But,
so, in 3... Now...
But here's the thing. Even if they could kill Spider-Man and bring him back with one of the gems from the Infinity Gauntlet.
Right, and I think that would have to have... I mean... We're going to have more Spider-Man movies, right?
Well, like I said, the second Spider-Man movie takes place 10 minutes after Infinity War 2 or
so
Avengers
he has
4.
to be alive later in the timeline.
So I'm thinking that if they were to kill a character, make it Spider-Man and bring him back at the end of Avengers 4. Kill him for 3. That motivates the Avengers to kill Thanos in Avengers 4 and then bring him back with the gem.
Because, and just from a generalized standpoint, he's the innocent. He's the youngest member, the newest member, and he would mean the most that if they killed him off. There's an emotional element.
From the poster, it looks like Groot is going to be a teenager,
which we kind of speculated on anyway.
Kind of already got that vibe. The Guardians will obviously play a part in this, but I mean. Again, my biggest concern is balancing all these characters because if you're a huge Doctor Strange fan, or if you're a huge Drax fan, and you're going to this like, oh, Drax and Doctor Doom or Doctor Strange are going to be in it, and they're only in it for like 10 minutes.
You're not going to get enough of the smaller characters, and you expect. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to get their feelings hurt, but you expect that most of the movie is going to focus on the big ones.
Yep.
On Captain America, on Iron Man, on Thor. Those guys are the center of attention. It's like
I wonder how much of Hawkeye is going to be.
Yeah, it's like going because if you're going to see Avengers for Hawkeye, you're probably going to be disappointed.
Avengers 2, you'll be happy. He's a lot.
Yeah, he's got a bigger role in Avengers 2, absolutely. But I don't see him being important in Infinity War.
That's my only concern about this movie is the scale of characters and how they're going to balance it. Now, it is the guys that did Civil War, which did a pretty good job of balancing those characters, so we'll see.
But this is a much harder thing to accomplish.
Absolutely huge.
So, we'll see.
I believe that's all the Comic-Con stuff I got. Now, there was some casting stuff for Ant-Man and the Wasp. There was some footage for Black Panther. There was some footage for Aquaman.
Go look it up.
But I mean, it's not online. It's not leaked.
It's not, and it's not really like.
And
yes, are we excited for those movies? But no.
Again, the Comic-Con thing is they splice together footage that's available. Typically, if it's a film like Aquaman,
they're not going to leak things like they kind of did.
Like Infinity War just finished filming, so they're going to splice together what's finished. Justice League has some reshoots. So they're going to splice together what's not underneath reshoots. Aquaman's a while out, so it's whatever's available to put together. Mm-hmm. It's not a real trailer. I'll be amazed if the Infinity War trailer drops and it's the same footage just mastered from Comic-Con. My mind would explode because it's not even a trailer. It doesn't describe anything.
No.
So, yeah. I'm okay with them not releasing everything. That's fine. Ready Player One.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. I didn't write it down.
So, Spielberg.
I'm iffy about him. This looks
Okay,
good,
what
though.
was the last thing that Spielberg did?
Indiana? Oh, the BFG.
Which-
Big Friendly
How
Giant.
was that?
It was, nah.
I mean, it is what it is. Was that like his project alone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
seriously-
Indiana Jones 4?
God, no. Well, I still think Lucas had more input on that.
The whole
one.
thing about Spielberg is it's the same thing with Ridley Scott. There are some films that are really, really good, and there's some films that are really, really bad.
Okay, all right.
That's where I stand on Spielberg. This movie, the only thing that
From this trailer, though,
it looks good, but it has some Speed Racer elements in it. You remember the movie Speed Racer?
did not see it. I actually saw a little bit of it the other day.
That flashy, colorful world.
Well, I mean, Valerian in the City of 1,000 Jupiter Ascendings. Like,
Exactly. So, is this movie just does this movie just look really good, or is it actually really good?
I want it to be.
I want another trailer.
I really want it to be though.
I really do too.
Okay, because the biggest thing in this is they're bringing in
80s pop culture.
80s pop culture, tons of like little like. Okay, so towards the end of the trailer, they're in a race.
Oh,
They're in a race,
so cool.
and you see like the Tron bike,
Yep.
and you see like
DeLorean.
the DeLorean from Back to the Future. I mean,
That's the
Come
main. That's the
on.
main character's car because you see it again earlier in the trailer.
right?
So some pop culture icons from the 80s that you saw was Freddy Krueger, Iron Giants, Tron,
Yes.
Back to the Future. There's a scene briefly you see Deathstroke and Harley Quinn walking out.
I didn't see that.
As
but
he's
yeah.
walking in to the main thing, and the first time he walks in, they're walking out. It's brief. It's very brief. Iron Giant's supposed to play a huge part in this, so that's pretty cool. But it looks incredible. I mean, the music choice to the race was incredible. It's got the kid that plays Cyclops in the new X-Men reboot thing. I don't know his name. He's pretty good. Simon Pegg's in it. I think he's the CGI monster.
Simon Pegg would have to be in.
I
it.
think he's the CGI monster thing. I'm just guessing here.
He's always a monster.
But I mean, the book is fantastic. Apparently, I have faith in Spielberg for this project because it's based off of a property that already exists,
Yeah.
and that's when I trust him. Well, maybe not because BFG is based off a property that exists. It's not very good. But this movie's.
I knew nothing about.
Well,
BFG,
the author of the book helped write the script for this movie, so that gives me a little bit of hope.
Still, I want it to be really good.
I think it's going to be personally. It looks good.
It looks phenomenal. I'm just, looks good.
Yeah, it really does. So out of all these Comic-Con things, which one are you looking forward to the most? If you had to pick one out of all these things we just mentioned to see, which one would it be?
Holy crap! You put me on the spot. I can't think that much. Out of Justice League, probably.
Really?
I really like what they're doing with Justice League.
Mine's gonna be the Doctor Doom movie. Like,
What's wrong with you?
no,
What is wrong with you?
I would say Justice League. It'd be a hard tie between Justice League and Kingsman 2 for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, nothing against Marvel. I'm really excited for all the Marvel films, but my thing is I like new stuff too. I really love new properties, and we've seen a lot of Marvel stuff, but we haven't seen a lot of
We have not seen a successful
DC.
DC team movie.
Exactly, and I really like Kingsman because I love the actors. So Channing Tatum.
I mean, we really thought that Suicide Squad was going to be the first good
right.
team movie, and it didn't work.
It was the worst team movie.
It's not the worst team movie.
Out of,
Have you seen the other DC movies? The other DC team movies?
But which one's another DC team movie?
The Justice League from the 90s.
Oh, I'm not talking about that.
Oh my gosh!
I mean,
no,
yeah.
it's not.
That's pretty bad if you think. Okay, that's a fair point. So let's move into Atomic Blonde for just a little bit, and then just briefly hit about it because
This was something that I saw from the first trailer, and I'm like, oh man, I got to see
Yeah,
that. Just because of the casting, because
Charlize
of
Theron.
and what's his name, Peter Faulkner. Is that his name?
I think so. And then it's got James McAvoy, John Goodman,
man.
Toby something, Toby Kebbell. No, that's Doctor Doom.
A great cast,
Yeah,
though.
basically. Oh, it's got the girl that plays the Mummy and Kingsman's
Oh,
villain.
I can't even think of her name.
I don't know her name either, but I love her. She's
Yes.
phenomenal.
So, Cold War. Do you want me to walk through the plot, or?
I mean, I'm gonna let you take this one because I mean I enjoyed this, but I feel like you enjoyed this movie more. So I'm gonna let you take the reins.
Stasi and the East German. I mean, it's.
I love
Cold War.
Do we have enough to talk about where we want to go? Spoilers, non-spoilers, spoilers, or do you want to just kind of basically hit about it and not spoil anything?
Non-spoilers at the moment. We may do some spoilers in a second. Plot-wise, what's going on here is Charlize Theron is a British MI6 agent who is tasked. This guy dies, who's part of MI6, and she's tasked with going in and retrieving information that this guy had. And she does, but along the way, there's so much that goes wrong, and so many people that and she's torn like 1,000 different ways because you've got the Russians. You've got the British, you've got the French, you've got the Americans,
too, a little bit, yeah,
and the East Germans, and they're all fighting for this information.
Because basically, what it is a list with every name of every agent in MI6. I'm guessing it is what it is.
MI6, but also their collusion, I think, with the Russians and
yeah, because it has like not only the names, but like their description, their talents, their skills, their code names, like what agency they work for. Because I saw some of them had MI6, so maybe it's other agents too.
It's basic. I think it's basically just the master list of espionage in Berlin, in East versus West.
This is the director that did John Wick, and you can see it.
Oh, absolutely!
Realistic fight scenes.
The action is phenomenal because we've come to expect in a lot of action movies. And I would say probably the best example that's recent of this would be like Ghost in the Shell, for example. You expect this heroine, this female hero, to fight just as well as a man, and honestly to be a hero, to be a perfect hero, to never get shot, to never get beaten up, to never get... Oh my god.
She gets her ass kicked.
She really does, but she doesn't stop.
Because it takes over the place over 10 days. And what I love about this is you see all the bruises that develop from every encounter.
Well, and in the trailer you see her taking ice baths. And I never understood that until holy crap. It was because she was so freaking sore from getting tossed into...
So, one of the first times we ever saw this realistic fighting was in Jack Reacher. Mm-hmm. The first one, not the second one. The guys from John Wick... I would say this one is a little bit more realistic than John Wick. John Wick has some really realistic action scenes, but it's also more or less meant to be kind of over the top. This one, there's a beautiful scene. This isn't a spoiler, where she's fighting a guy and they both stand up and they're just like they're kind of like swaying and like out of breath and bloody. And it's like, I would be out of breath too if I got beat up like that and thrown downstairs and stabbed and punched in the throat and kicked in the nuts. Like, I'd probably have some trouble standing up too. I love it. It was a really fun action film, and it was good.
For the most part, the guns are realistic. I think one of the scenes, she has a Makarov, which I have one of those guns, and she shoots it like 12 times, and it only has an 8-round magazine.
Oh well, there's a scene in John Wick 2 where he picks up one gun and fires 21 bullets without reloading or switching guns.
So not 100% accurate, but still hard to beat. Oh yeah, hard to beat in Hollywood action.
It was really well done. It's based... Now, I said from the beginning, I thought it was based off of a comic book or a graphic novel. It's based off of a book.
Graphic novel.
Oh, it's a graphic novel? Coldest City.
It said, graphic novel is Coldest City, and then...
That was the original title for the film, too. Man.
It's just... It really... The story that is woven here, because it's more interesting, because you get a lot in the 60s and 70s, there were some attempts to make some really good espionage, like, thrillers. And... Yes and no. I mean, some of them are hits, some of them not. You like James Bond, you like the spy, the suave and sophisticated spy that does all this. There's kind of a mixture going on here because you have a really good and I think a really plausible, believable spy story going on. But you also have a really good action film. Yeah, you have there's a good balance here, I think.
What I liked about it is the plot wasn't too over the top. It was pretty simple and easy to understand, and it was believable. There's a list, Agents are on it. If you don't get it, this Cold War is going to last even longer because there's going to be killing behind the scenes.
Where it gets difficult later in the film, and I'm going to try and not spoil anything, is just the interagency confusion, because the Russians and the East Germans and the Americans and the British and the French are all, they weave a really tight web, and it's hard to pick all of that out until the very end.
And then when you do, it's like, oh, okay.
We had to talk about it for me to get it.
Yeah.
After we walked out of the theater, I'm like, wait, that happened because that happened, and she's that, and then okay.
But it's a really solid film. It's definitely, I really enjoyed it.
Oh, fantastic! I want something. I like movies that not only are fun to watch, but also make you think. And that I think it was the perfect balance of that.
Well, it was definitely better than the other film that came out this weekend
that you saw,
that I saw, the Emoji Movie. Do you want to see the Emoji Movie?
I texted you my responses to this.
All right, so listen. Here's what it is.
Okay.
I'm going to just break it down. I don't know where this movie fits and what demographic it's going for. Unlike other kids' movies, there's not enough jokes and elements for adults to enjoy. If you're a little bit of an older kid, maybe in the teens, like early teens, you're not going to find it funny. I was in a theater with a bunch of little kids. They laughed at some points.
But they didn't get things that...
But they didn't understand the overall concept. The thing about this movie that bugged me, and I don't care if I spoil anything for this movie or not, so whatever. Spoilers, I guess. The trailer makes you think that he's an emoji. He doesn't do the right face, so he gets put like with the emojis that are never used. There is an emoji called Smiler, and it's this female, and she just has this big smile, and she's like this evil dictator. And it's not that he's going to get put with the emojis that aren't used. They're going to kill him because he made the wrong face. Like, straight up try to murder him. And they murder a bunch of people along the way trying to murder him. They kill tons of emojis on the way to killing this emoji. And there's so many cringeworthy scenes. There's a scene where they're doing dance, like a dance app, which I don't think even exists on your phone. But, like, they're dancing, and, like, it's cringeworthy. The voice acting is pretty terrible. The jumping from apps to app thing, it's just like, it's a ripoff of Inside Out. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially that. And the thing is, again, who was this movie even made for? Because...
See, I will attempt to answer your question. Because I think I might have it.
Okay.
I'm thinking your only target audience that's going to truly appreciate this for what it is millennials, specifically between the, say, 16 to maybe 22 range.
Well, the thing about that is, another thing was the main character, or the character that has the dude that has the phone that the emojis are in, is a 9th grader. And the underwhelming plot of it is he's trying to ask this girl out to dance, but every time he's trying to go to, like, the homecoming dance or whatever, they do something in the phone that makes it go off. Like, they ride in Spotify, and it plays, like, a booty bounce song, and, like, he's trying to turn off his phone, and everyone's, like, laughing at him. Or the Just Dance app activates, and it's like, you can dance, and, like, Candy Crush activates, and it interrupts him every single time. Huge spoiler. At the end of the film, the main character, Gene, or Mel... or High Five, whichever one it was, the Mel guy.
Mel, I thought.
Mel, sure. Mel, the emoji that's about.
I mean, I didn't see it,
TJ
so
Miller,
don't take my word
TJ Miller's voice character person. They find, because his whole thing is he can express different emotions.
Right.
He express more than just one emoji con thing. They use him, and they scan him, and he has, like, all these different emotions. And then it pops up on the kid's phone right as he's deleting his phone. He's going to wipe his phone clean because it keeps acting up. And he gets this emoji, and it's making, like, hard eyes, and then, like, a sad face, and, like, a smile, and then, like, a nervous face. And he's like, so much emotion. He looks over at the girl, and he sends it to her. And then he unplugs the phone so they don't get deleted. And the girl walks up to him, and this is the dumbest thing in movie history, in my opinion, and goes, I really like a guy that can express himself. There's so much emotion in this one emoji. I like that. I'll go to dance with you. No high schooler is going to be like, you can express emotions through this one emoji. I like you. That's not going to happen. Even with the high schoolers that are here today. Because my girlfriend's younger brother is a sophomore in high school. And I asked him, when I called her and told her about the movie, I said, would that ever happen in your school? And he was like, no, you get made fun of. Completely. I mean, it's true. Like, no one's going to like you because you send an emoji that can express different emotions. No girl's going to be like, you know what?
And emojis don't take any personal, like, they're
Exactly. I can. If you were the most emotionalist person ever,
It's like buying someone I don't know.
My whole point is
a donut from a gas station.
Like,
it's not.
You can send emojis all you want, even if you don't express emotion in person. There are people that can express emotion behind a phone, but not in person. So to send an emoticon, and this girl will be like, "You can express emotion," and the whole concept is that the reason this movie exists, I guess, is because they're making a point that people don't use words to text anymore, that they only send emojis to have conversations. That's not a thing. People don't send emojis to have conversations. That's not a thing at all.
No, it's a fear some of us have, but it's,
And they address social issues like having real friends and not having friends on the internet, and being popular is more important than having friends, and it even throws in some feminist stuff. And the problem is, props to trying, but God, does it fail. The feminist aspect is this princess, the princess emoji, escapes from the texting app and runs around the phone free. And she's like,
super spoilers here.
She's like,
in case you're wondering,
did you know that in the beginning a female emoji could only be a princess or a bride? And she's like, I'm more than that. There's more emoticons than just princess and brides for females. There's tons. What are you doing?
Download entire keyboards of them.
Exactly. There's all different kinds of female emotions on the phone. No one. Oh! God, it's so annoying. And that's not the only thing. The whole Facebook thing. They don't actually know him in person. He's just popular on Facebook. Jesus God Christ. Man.
Again,
It deserves. It's 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. It deserves.
It's
back to a 0.
Is it down to a 0?
It's back to a 0. It's at 9%.
Because it was at a 6% when I was looking last night.
Let me look it up right now. It's at 9 on Metacritic and at 1.4 on IMDb. There's just... If you couldn't tell from my raging impulse about this, every element it tries to tackle that's a social issue, I understand why it's doing it, because it's a kid's movie. Hey, get off your phone and interact with each other. But the way it does it makes it seem like staying on your phone is better than being in the real world. And I don't like
so
that.
So it's backfiring completely, is what you're saying.
I guess.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, we kind of... When we first saw they were making an emoji movie...
8% on Rotten Tomatoes. Wow.
Oh, it went up.
9% on Metacritic, 1.4 on IMDb.
Yeah, so
70% of Google users like this movie. It made $26 million.
Yeah, it did.
Wow. It's sad.
We knew it was not going to be a good movie.
Oh, I knew it wasn't. And
it's not like oh man, the Emoji Movie.
Well,
ready for that? I mean, it just.
I think I told you.
So, I hate the word emoji. Personally.
I hate it too, but I think
it's a dumb word.
I think I told you last night. The reason I went to see it was so I could rant about it on here.
Exactly.
So I could know how bad it was and have a solid reason.
Which is good. I mean, here on the Rough Cut, we bring you truth, not unfounded claims.
I mean, if anybody that listens to this actually likes that movie, please tell me why. I'm always up for hearing why people like movies that I don't.
It's one of those things. Just take it on its face. It's a kids movie. A lot of kids movies are dumb. You can take your kids to see it. Now there was some things that I read. There were several things that I read about different takes on it. I don't know whether any of them are absolutely true. I mean, they're critics, but it's there were some interesting things. And I asked you about this. How would you take your kids to see this?
No.
Well, I mean, even if you couldn't stand the concept, but you still, they were begging you to go see this.
No.
You wouldn't take your kids.
Because it's just going to spoil their brain with nonsense crap.
Okay.
I'd be like, no, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch The Incredibles and Finding Nemo and the movies from my childhood. That's what I would say.
So there are much better kids movies.
Incredibly.
I mean, Despicable Me
was better. I mean, if we would have seen Despicable Me and then watched the Emoji Movie, Despicable Me 3 would have looked like The Incredibles. It would have been that good.
Much better.
Oh my god, it's light years ahead of this movie. Anyways,
final point on that.
Terrible.
Take them to see Despicable Me.
Is there a worse award than Razzie?
You want to change?
I give this the
you
poop
want
emoji.
To change?
I give this movie the poop emoji. That's what this movie deserves. A poop emoji. Oh, Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, we didn't say. I'd go Oscar.
Yeah, I'd go Oscar too. It's really enjoyable.
I really, I will say this for people that are. It is rated R. It's rated R for a reason.
Oh yeah, it is. They carded me for the first time at our theater for an R-rated movie.
No way.
It was a new person. They didn't know who I was.
I've never been carded.
Well, you look like you're 50.
I don't. I really don't.
And a flight
I get
attendant-
carded at bars all the
The
time.
flight
Well, I
attendant on my
don't go to
on my
bars,
flight
but
back,
Whatever.
my flight attendant on the way back asked if I was over the age of 15 and was allowed to sit at the exit door.
Oh my gosh, you're so young looking.
And I should have told her, I was like, do I look younger than 15?
Odie Matthews does look 12.
No, I don't. I
Yes,
look
he
16, not 15.
I'm just saying.
I was
saying.
upset. I was very pissed. I was not a happy. Camper.
Whatever. So Atomic Blonde is rated R. the language is pretty thick. So
Yeah, sexual
if you're
elements.
turned off by language and a sexual graphic, I mean it's not like super graphic,
There's
but
boobs.
it's
There's boobs.
yes. There's 2 naked women.
4. You see Charlene Theron's boobs and the mummy boobs.
No,
and the
I
two-
said
and the 2 girls that wake up with James McAvoy's boobs.
whatever. Anyway, there's naked women in it. There's language in it. If that turns you off,
There's
don't
some
go
blood.
see it. There's
Not a lot.
I mean, it's not gory. I wouldn't
No.
say it's gory.
Not at all.
It is violent. If violence is rough for you to see, if you don't like being thrilled that much, it's probably going to bother you.
There's some cringy if you don't like it, like some cringy stabbing in the throat, in the cheek, and the nuts.
Oh man, it's not really a spoiler. There was a set of keys hanging out of a guy's face.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty.
That was
It's pretty cool. But yeah, so
great movie though.
suggestions.
Suggestions.
Wrap this up. My suggestion this week is the Emoji Movie. I'm just kidding.
So you're going to negate everything you just said.
Look, I didn't really watch a whole lot because I was really, really busy.
I watched a
up
ton.
in New York. I saw one movie on Netflix, and I'm going to suggest it because I like to hear other people's opinions. It's called Spectral. It's got 2 of the guys from 13 Hours, and it's got the guy that plays Riggs on Lethal Weapon.
Okay.
Is it Riggs? Yeah, Riggs. Basically, this movie's about a group of soldiers in the future. They're fighting in like a small village against like an insurgency force, and there's a scientist that flies there to check their equipment because he made these like helmets that can see, like they have like a flip down visor and they can see like all kinds of cool things. And they start seeing these anomalies through their visors, and they think that it's camouflage. And it turns out what it is what is it? It can pass through you, and it's ice cold, and it kills you with its touch. Bullets don't harm it. Explosions don't harm it.
Paranormally.
So how do you fight this thing if you don't know what it is? And it's really cool. I really like the technology, the suits, the cover of it it's a Netflix film. The cover of it shows like the face mask they wear, and they wear it at the very end. And it's the guy that plays Oz in 13 Hours. The guy gets his hand blown up.
Mm-hmm.
He's the like main soldier, and he is just badass. Like like they make these special weapons to fight him, and they like plug in all of them together, and he's got this like giant cannon at the end, and it's really cool. It's got what's his name? He plays in Spock, not Spock, Star Trek 1 and 2 as the general guy that dies in the second one. His mentor, Kirk's mentor, kind of.
Oh my gosh. Well, Christopher Pike is the character.
Bruce Greenwood is his name. He's in it. Look, it's kind of hard to watch to an extent, but it's also very interesting. What kept me watching it was the fact that it was interesting. This concept, I was like, well, how is this going to end? And it was pretty good. I mean, the acting was solid. It's a Netflix film, so I mean, smaller budget. So that's a good one to watch. And then I don't really watched anything else. I watched Okja, and it was fine. I mean, you can check that out. It's not bad.
Okay. I'm still I like the face on the
I mean, it's fine.
It's weird. Anyway, so for my suggestions, I saw a lot of things. A lot of Hitchcock movies have been on lately.
Love
and
Hitchcock.
I saw 2 that I really liked. The one I'm going to talk about is It Takes a Thief with Cary Grant.
Good movie.
Fantastic. I mean, if you haven't seen It Takes a Thief, it was one that I hadn't ever seen all the way through. I feel like I knew about it, but I hadn't watched it. Really great. I mean, heist movie. You know, he is a thief, and he's being framed, and he has to find the real thief.
If you're going to suggest Hitchcock movies, I'm going to suggest my favorite Hitchcock movie, North by Northwest with Cary Grant.
Always a classic.
I've seen every Hitchcock movie except for like 2.
Have you seen Rope?
Yep.
Saw Rope. That was the other one that I saw.
So good.
It really, I love Jimmy Stewart anyway. I mean, you hate It's a Wonderful Life.
I do, but I like Jimmy Stewart.
Jimmy Stewart's a great actor, and that was another one that I saw that's really underrated for Hitchcock films and worth your time. The other thing that I saw was, I'm up to 3. I know I'm screwed.
Well, I won't count Rope because I mentioned, yeah.
Hacksaw Ridge. I was gonna say Heartbreak Ridge.
You've always wanted to call it that.
I always say that because
what did
I'm
you?
an Eastwood
Now I'm
fan.
interested to see what you thought because I loved that movie.
Absolutely fantastic. You know, it really it's not a conventional war movie in the sense that it's trying to take a conscientious objector, you know, his perspective on things, and I think that was really powerful, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Mel Gibson does a really good job in that film of capturing what actually happened, kind of like a Dunkirk element. Only this one's obviously a little bit more brutal.
Oh yeah,
So, what did you think of Vince Vaughn's character?
I loved
It's
him.
weird, right?
I didn't think that it was gonna work because he's so funny.
But it works really well.
It was really awesome.
Yeah, and Andrew Garfield, after seeing him in Spider-Man and stuff, I was like, he's not, but he's really good.
You sort of get a little bit of that, but at the same time, you find his character believable.
He looks a lot like the original Desmond Doss too.
Yeah,
it's a really good film.
I hadn't seen.
I'll back your suggestion on that one. That is a fantastic. I mentioned it last week as one of my war films.
and it happened to be on TV last week. I saw it and it was
so good.
Fantastic.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Anything else?
Not really. I've been watching something called The Last Kingdom on Netflix. It's kind of Viking-ish if you're interested in Vikings, and kind of
I want to watch Vikings.
Game of Thrones-ish.
Oh yeah, there was it's one other thing, real quick, just because all over the place. Backtracking to some news and / trailers. If you get the chance, the new It trailer number 2 dropped. If you like scary movies,
that thing looks so. Oh my gosh!
If you like scary movies, and you like Stephen King, because this could be potentially connected to the Dark Tower universe.
Dark Tower, I really like.
Yeah. Well, the It trailer came out. So if you're interested in scary movies, that looks. I'm going to be forced to go see it. I don't want to personally because I'm not a huge fan of scary movies in the theater. Not like that, but I'm going to be forced to go see that one.
Like I liked The Conjuring, and I don't think I'm going to go see Annabelle.
I'm going to probably be forced to see that one too. My girlfriend loves scary movies. She keeps dragging me to them. It's the worst.
At least, I guess if scary things ever come for you, you can hide behind her. Big Bad Marine.
Yeah. But, so It trailer, Dark Tower has a new trailer too. Check that one out.
Dark Tower's, oh man.
Cannot wait.
I'm so ready for that one. That one looks good.
So that's it for this week. Look, so if you have anything you want to mention about Comic-Con, send us our way. I put a thing out on Facebook about it. You can find us on Facebook at The Rough Cut Pod. Email odiematthews@gmail.com. Next week, I think something. Want me to go back?
Something.
I think Detroit comes out, or Chicago. That Chicago movie comes out.
It's Detroit.
It looks phenomenal. A couple other movies come out as well with that. So we'll see what comes out. And as always,
we'll let you know.
Thanks for listening, and we'll
see you next time.